All right, we have now, we're going to file item 51, Senator Galgiani. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 348 by Senator Galgiani, an act relating to environmental quality.
You wish to pass? All right, sorry, pass on file item 51. Pass on file. File item 52, Senator Hill. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 361 by Senator Hill, an act relating to public health and declaring the urge thereof to take effect immediately.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, antibiotic resistance is a serious public health threat. The CDC estimates that at least 23,000 Americans die from antibiotic-resistant infections each year. The overuse and incorrect use of antibiotics is a key driver of antibiotic resistance, and nationwide, up to 70% of nursing home residents receive an antibiotic every year. Studies suggest that between 25 and 75% of antibiotic use in long-term care settings may be incorrect, and 27,000 nursing home residents acquire antibiotic-resistant infections each year. SB 361 helps reduce inappropriate antibiotic use in nursing homes by requiring them to establish antibiotic stewardship programs, which are a commitment to use antibiotics only when necessary, to choose the right antibiotics and to administer them in the correct way. The bill passed the Senate Health Committee with unanimous support, and there is no opposition. I ask for your aye vote, colleagues.
Thank you, Senator Hill. Debate or discussion? Senator Stone.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise in support of SB 361 and appreciate the Senator for bringing this forward. Over the past 34 years now of being a pharmacist, I have seen the overprescribing of antibiotics, and what happens when you do that is it allows for resistant organisms to take over, and that's what we see, and that's why we see so many new antibiotics trying desperately to get to market, because we have people dying of infections that cannot be treated by antibiotics that previously were able to be treated by those respective antibiotics. So I really commend you for this legislation, and I think it's going to save lives in the future. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator Stone. Any further debate or discussion? Senator Hill, you may close.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I respectfully ask for an aye vote, members.
All debate having ceased, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Cannella. Aye. De Leon. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Weso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Please call the absent members.
De Leon. Hernandez. Huff. Morrell. Runner. Vidak.
Ayes 33, no 0 on the urgency. Ayes 33, no 0 on the measure. Senator Hall, Mr. God's gift, or whatever it was. I can't remember. Senator Hall, it's Senator De Leon's desk, please. For what purpose, sir?
Yes, privileges of the floor.
Without objection.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to ask my colleagues to join with me on the floor, my council member from the City of Los Angeles City Council, the Honorable Joe Boscaino.
Welcome, welcome to the floor. Moving along on our calendar, please. File item 53, Senator Wolk. Are you prepared to take that up? Pass on file. File item 54, Senator Weso, not at his desk. I'm sorry, Senator Weso would like to move on file item 54. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 481 by Senator Weso, an act relating to local government.
If you wait just one moment, Senator Weso. Thank you, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. SB 481 seeks to ensure transparency of government audit reports, and it also protects the independence of internal auditors. It will eliminate an existing practice that limits public access to audit reports. Audit reports provide essential accountability and transparency over government programs, and it is extremely important that the public have access to them. This bill ensures the independence of an auditor by prohibiting a general counsel from having direct supervision over an auditor. I respectfully ask for your aye vote on this bill.
Is there any debate or discussion? Makes sense. Any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. Bates. Anderson, aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Galgiani. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Huff. Jackson.
Aye.
Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Morrell. Wynn. Nilsson. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Stone. Vidak. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Please call the absent members.
Wesso, aye. Allen. Bates. Berryhill. Gaines. Hernandez. Huff. Allen, aye. Morlock. Morrell. Wynn. Nilsson. No. No to aye. Runner. Stone. Vidak.
Ayes 28, no 0. That measure passes. File item 55, Senator Monning. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 560 by Senator Monning, an act relating to contractors.
Senator Monning.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, a common aspect of the underground economy is for individuals who identify themselves as contractors to contract without a license. Evidence shows that frequently these unlicensed individuals are also employing workers while failing to secure the required workers' compensation insurance. Though the CSLB currently has the authority to issue a written notice to appear in Superior Court for contractors operating without a license, it does not have the same authority to include charges for violating workers' comp insurance requirements. Specifically, SB 560 would expand the jurisdiction of the CSLB's Enforcement Division to include ensuring payment for adequate workers' compensation in addition to the authority they currently have for licensing compliance, and streamline the referral of these cases to local district attorneys for prosecution. We've received no opposition to this measure. I urge your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Monning. Any debate or discussion on this item? Any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 34, no 0. That measure is adopted. File item 56, Senator Hill. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 598 by Senator Hill, an act relating to taxation to take effect immediately. Tax levy.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Madam President and members. SB 598 is the winner of my annual Ought to Be a Law contest. All volunteer fire departments across the state rely on fundraisers to buy life-saving equipment. The La Honda Fire Brigade in my district is no different. Their livelihood relies exclusively on volunteers. Unfortunately, any fundraisers dealing with selling hot and prepared food or tangible goods such as T-shirts are subject to California sales tax. SB 598 would simply exempt all volunteer fire departments from having to pay sales tax on their fundraising efforts. All of the money raised would stay with the department. Every day, these extraordinary volunteers put their lives on the line. SB 598 is one small step in helping these great men and women with their jobs. There has been no opposition to this measure.
Thank you, Senator Hill. Any debate or discussion on this item? Any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none. Is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call on this measure? Seeing and hearing none. Ayes 34, no 0. The measure is adopted. File item 57, Senator Block. Do you wish to pass on file? File item 58, Senator Lara. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 623 by Senator Lara, an act relating to workers' compensation and making appropriation therefore.
Senator Lara.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, SB 623 clarifies a conflict between California regulations and existing state law to make it clear that nobody should be denied workers' compensation benefits based on their immigration status. Specifically, this bill specifies that an injured undocumented worker shall not be excluded from benefits from the uninsured employer's benefits trust fund or the subsequent injuries benefits trust fund based on his or her immigration status. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Is there any debate or discussion on this item? Any debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none. Is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? There is. Mr. Secretary, then please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Hall. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Monning. Aye. Morlock. No. Morrell. Wynn. Aye. Nielsen. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Wykowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye. Anderson.
Please call the absent
Aye.
members.
Hall. Aye. Hernandez. Huff. Mitchell. Aye. Morrell. Runner. Vidak.
Ayes 33, noes 1. That measure passes. Moving on to file item 59, Senator Vidak. Not at his desk. File item 60, Senator Hueso. Do you wish to proceed on this matter? Pass on file. File item 61, Senator Wolk. Pass on file. File item 62, Senator Lara. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 200 by Senator Lara, an act relating to pupils.
Senator Lara.
Thank you, Madam President and members. SB 200 will update California's K-12 residency requirements to permit a child who resides with their parent the majority of the week at their place of employment to enroll their child in the local school district, even if they maintain another principal residence. Many workers, like nannies, caregivers, and maids, sacrifice time with their family to care for others. These workers are often required to live part-time or full-time with their employers to fulfill the duties of their job. Members, last year in Orinda Unified School District, they allowed the family of a Caucasian child the opportunity to provide further documentation of her residency, while in the case of the Latina child, a private investigator was hired to follow her and then was kicked out of the school as a result. SB 200 would update California school residency laws to ensure that children of live-in workers are able to attend school in the district in which they work. These workers may not fit the traditional family model, but should not face undue hardship to keep their families together. It is critical that they have an option to keep their children with them during the work week. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion on this item, Senator De Leon.
Thank you, Madam President. Just very quickly, Orinda, I'm very familiar, a very wealthy community, Orinda, Moraga, Lafayette, knowing that because my daughter is a student and resides in that immediate area. I stand in support of this measure, especially given the fact that it's a bipartisan measure as we move forward together, Democrats and Republicans. We duly know that the Republican leader is a supporter and I believe a co-author of this measure. Again, no child should be rejected from the school district that they justifully should attend because of income level. So with that, Madam President, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator De Leon. Any further debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Senator Lara, would you like to close?
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate the support, bipartisan support of this bill. This bill really goes to support those hardworking men and women that sacrifice their lives to make sure that other families live comfortably. It's about time that we do the same for them and their family. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Lara. All debate having ceased, is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call on this measure? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 34, no 0. The measure is adopted. File item 63, Senator Monning, do you wish to proceed? Pass on file. File item 64, Senator Cannella, pass on file. File item 65, Committee on Environmental Quality, Senator Wysocki, do you pass on file? Thank you, sir. File item 66, Senator Berryhill, pass on file. File item 67, Senator Mendoza, we have a winner.
A winner.
Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 432 by Senator Mendoza and Acroling to Public Works.
Senator Mendoza.
Thank you, Madam President. Senators, I'm here to present SB 432, which seeks to improve outdated statute by deleting from the Labor Code the offensive and derogatory term alien as a definition for an immigrant individual. This bill also deletes outdated requirement in law that prescribes an order for the issuance of employment under public works contracts, first to citizens of the United States, second to citizens of another state, and third to aliens. In 1937, the state legislature enacted various provisions regarding the employment of aliens who are defined as any person who is not born or fully naturalized here in the United States. The legislature repealed most of these in labor code back in the 1970s. Unfortunately, the definition for alien or the order under which employment and public works projects are to be awarded was not deleted and is still found in the labor code. The word alien and any law prescribing an order for the issuance of employment to aliens has no place in the laws of our state, and more importantly, should never be the basis of an employment for hiring. SB 432 would delete these outdated, discriminatory, and unnecessary references in law. I respectfully ask for your aye vote, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Mendoza. Senator Stone, under debate and discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise in support of SB 432, commend the senator for bringing this forward. And I stand and rise in memory of my grandmother, Virginia Friedman, who I had the honor of having as my grandmother, lived with her for 5 years while I went to UCLA and the USC School of Pharmacy. But as I was growing up, it was instilled to me at a very young age that I should vote. And so having a very close relationship with my grandparents that lived in Los Angeles, by the way, I asked my grandmother how she voted in a particular presidential election when I was at a very young age. She says, well, I can't vote. I said, why can't you vote, Grandma? She goes, because I'm an alien. And I looked at her kind of strangely. I said, well, which planet do you come from? And she explained to me that she was a Canadian citizen. She remained a Canadian citizen until her death. She's buried in Los Angeles. But I believe that the description is certainly not worthy of contemporary society, and to support your bill in honor of my wonderful grandmother, Virginia Friedman. May she rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Stone. Any further debate or discussion? Senator Lara.
Members, I also rise in support of this important measure. You know, for some of us that have parents that are immigrants, you are the connection to mainstream culture, and you also serve as the interpreter translator. And so some of us at a very young age had to translate tax documents. We had to translate school documents. The best thing was trying to explain a truancy note, and I just told them it was a school thing that she had to sign, and she would just sign it, and I'd go on my merry way. But one of the most important moments was, and the first time my mom actually got really furious at me, was when I was asked to translate when she got her resident alien card. And trying to translate at a young age what a resident alien was, I ended up calling her an extraterrestre, which means extraterrestrial, because there was no other way for me to translate alien. And she got really mad. She says, are you saying I'm from Mars? And I'm like, no, pick a planet. I just said extraterrestrial. I don't know which one you're from, but this is what the card says. So again, this is an important measure to clarify that our immigrants are, in fact, human beings and not aliens. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Lara. That explains a lot. Any further debate or discussion? Seeing none, Senator Mendoza, you may close.
Thank you, Madam President. As you can see, the word alien does take many shapes and forms, but it's not necessary to have it in the labor code, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote on this measure.
All debate having ceased, is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 34, no 0. That measure is adopted. File item 68, Senator Pan, do you wish to take that up? Pass on file. File item 69, Senator Lara. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 451 by Senator Lara, an act relating to people, instruction, and services.
Senator Lara.
Thank you, Madam President, members. This is my last bill for the day. SB 451 encourages K through 12 school districts to adopt educational school counseling programs to better position our students for success and achievement. California has the worst student-to-counselor ratio in the country, one counselor for every 1,000 students. According to a 2014 UC Irvine study, higher numbers of counselors in K-12 schools is strongly associated with greater college enrollment, among other improved student outcomes. Simply put, SB 451 provides a crucial first step for California to strengthen the presence of counselors to ensure students are provided a well-rounded education. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Lara. Debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Anderson? Aye. Aye. Bates? Aye. Bell? Aye. Berryhill? Block? Aye. Canella? Aye. De Leon? Aye. Fuller? Aye. Gaines? Galgiani? Gaines, aye. Galgiani, aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Hueso? Huff? Jackson?
Aye.
Aye. Lara? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leyva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? Aye. Morrell? Wynn? Aye. Nilsson? Pan? Aye. Pavley? Roth? Aye. Runner? Stone? Aye. Vidak? Bykowski? Aye. Wolk?
Please
Aye.
call the absent members.
Berryhill? Hernandez? Hueso? Huff? Mendoza? Aye. Morrell? Nilsson? Pavley? Aye. Runner? Vidak?
Ayes 31, no 0. That measure is adopted. Moving on, we have just two items from the Assembly, third reading, which we will take up. File item 73. If Senator Galgiani, you prepared to take up that item. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 31 by Assemblymember Perea relative to California Agriculture Day.
You don't wish to take that up? All right. We're not going to take up file item 73. There is one further, file item 79, Senator Galgiani. Mr. Secretary, please read. File item 79.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 34 by Assemblymember Cooper relative to the November 1984 anti-Sikh pogroms.
Senator Galgiani.
Thank you, Madam President and members. As I present this Assembly concurrent resolution, I would like to recognize our guests in the back who are local leaders from our Sikh community in this region. Please join me.
Under motions and resolutions. Welcome. And now for the bill, Senator Galgiani.
ACR 34 recognizes that in November of 1984, over 3,000 Sikhs were killed throughout India. On October 31st of that year, the Prime Minister of India was assassinated by her bodyguards, and her assassination triggered a wave of retaliation violence against innocent Sikhs over the next several days. Eyewitnesses, journalists, and human rights activists have compiled evidence showing that government and law enforcement officials organized, participated in, and failed to intervene to prevent the killings of innocent Sikhs. Attacks were made in a systematic manner and without much fear from the police, almost suggesting that they were assured that they would not be harmed while committing those acts. Individuals and organizations throughout the world, recognizing the need for justice, continue to demand prosecution of those responsible for the November 1984 anti-Sikh activities. This resolution, ACR 34, remembers and recognizes those who lost their lives. It is important to remember these human rights violations so we ensure that this violence is not repeated. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Galgiani. Debate or discussion? Dr. Pam.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I too stand in strong support of this resolution. I want to thank Senator Galgiani for bringing this up and Assemblymember Cooper for authoring this resolution. This is a shameful chapter in history. We have seen other examples like this as well. When these issues, episodes like this come up, where either governments or they condone attacks against a population, a group like what happened to the Sikhs, we need to stand up against it. And this is certainly an event in history that needs to be remembered and brought out. There are too many, often people try to bury these things, and we need to be sure that they're remembered. And I want to again thank Senator Galgiani for bringing this forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Pan. Senator Nielsen.
Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I rise in support as one who I claim represents the Punjab of America. That's just north of here where so many Sikhs did settle. I am somewhat, well, I guess vicariously knowledgeable of this. In 1974, as a part of the Agricultural Leadership Fellowship, we traveled in many countries, including India. And we spent an hour with then Prime Minister Gandhi in her home. Several years later, about a decade, this particular tragedy did then occur. And then the savage and brutal violence that was visited upon Sikhs all over India. I am indeed familiar with it. It is important for us to speak out against these kinds of acts and tragedies. Even greater one happened when the partitioning in 1947, the partitioning of which created the country of Pakistan. And then violence raged again all over India at a magnitude even greater than this. The individuals here in the Punjab have long suffered and kind of became the warrior class, I say, of India, because that fertile land of the five rivers was always the first place invaded by the hordes from afar that wanted to reap that bounty. So the Sikhs have long suffered. It is very important for us to acknowledge this most recent tragedy.
Thank you, Senator Nielsen. Any further debate or discussion? Seeing none, Senator Galgiani, would you like to close?
Thank you. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
All debate having ceased, is there any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call on this item? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 32, no 0, the resolution is adopted. That concludes the calendar other than the consent calendar. We're going to take up the consent calendar at this time. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 187. No. Senate Bill 161, 335, 336, 422, 746, SCR 30, Senate Bill 207, 216, 325, 525, Senate Bill 683, and Senate Bill 796.
Any objection to substituting a unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 33, no 0. On the consent calendar, it is adopted. Under motions and resolutions, Senator De Leon. Excuse me, sir, before we do that, let's take a photo. Thank you. Members, there is a resolution at the desk requesting permission to suspend Joint Rule 61, Subdivision A2, for the purpose of allowing the Governmental Organization Committee to hear and report Senate Bill 624 and 281 after the fiscal deadline. This request has been approved by the Rules Committee. Mr. Secretary, please read the resolution.
Resolved that Joint Rule 61A2 be dispensed with as requested. Pursuant to Rule 33.1, Joint Rule 61, Subdivision A, Sub 2, will be suspended as requested upon consent, unanimous consent. Is there unanimous consent on this item? Ayes 34, no 0. Consent is granted, and the measure will be heard. Measures will be heard without objection. The Senate journals for April 27th through April 30th, 2015 will be approved as corrected by the minute clerk. All right. Returning to motions and resolutions, my apologies. Senator De Leon.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, I rise to adjourn in the memory of Mr. Fernando Vasquez, who passed away from stomach cancer at the very young age of 59. Fernando was a renowned architect based in Los Angeles who was well known for designing massive sports projects, but also applying his characteristic flair to community works. Fernando was born in Montevideo, Uruguay, and graduated from the School of Architecture at the University of La Plata in Argentina, and he earned a master's degree from UCLA. He was a key player in the renovation of UC Berkeley's Memorial Stadium. For those who have had an opportunity to attend a game in Memorial Stadium, the newly designed Memorial Stadium, if you go to the very top, they have a deck out there where all the suites are at. It was Mr. Fernando Vasquez who designed that deck that oversees the beautiful Bay Area and the Bay Bridge at Memorial Stadium at Cal. He was also instrumental in the construction of the University of Southern California's own Trojans Galen Center on Figueroa, where they play basketball as well as volleyball. Notably, this Southern Californian, this Angelino, designed the new 49ers stadium, Levi Stadium, in Santa Clara. These are remarkable projects, to be sure, but what also made Fernando very special was his proactive effort to take on the more modest, socially oriented projects. He designed Planned Parenthood's headquarters in downtown Los Angeles, and El Centro del Pueblo Neighborhood Center, which is actually where my district office is located. Undoubtedly, Fernando was a very gifted architect whose talents will be memorialized in the many structures that he helped create, not just in Southern California, but obviously throughout the Bay Area and throughout the country. Fernando is survived by his wife, Analia, 3 children, as well as his parents. Our prayers are with him in this very difficult moment.
Thank you, Senator De Leon, and please extend our condolences to his family. Are there any other adjourns in the memories? Any other matters before us? If there is no, Senator Block.
For purpose of announcements,
without objection.
Budget Sub 1 in Education will meet in 3191 at 11:30.
11:30, 3191. Senator Mitchell, for what purpose?
Purpose of announcement.
Without objection.
Senate Budget Subcommittee 3, Health and Human Services, will meet at 11:30 in 4203.
4203. Thank you. Senator Wolk, for what purpose?
Purposes of announcement.
Without objection.
Budget Sub 2, Resources will meet in Room 112 at 11:30.
Room 112, 11:30. Thank you. Senator Berryhill.
Thank you, Madam President and members. Members, I rise to remind you that April is National Frog Month, and with that comes the Calaveras County Fair and Jumping Frog Jubilee. This year, the fair takes place May 14th to the 17th. A great day to spend up there with the kids, if you have some or not. Calaveras County, which I represent, is known for fine wine, caves, big trees, lakes, rivers, and quaint gold rush towns. It also is world-renowned for its famous jumping frogs. So be sure to take a day and enjoy the fair. It is a fun time. This next Wednesday, You too can get an early jump on the fair by participating in the 41st annual Capital Frog Jump. This has become quite the deal over the last few years. My famous frog, Watertight the Third, will be on hand to start the party. Hopefully he actually jumps this year. Please join Watertight, Assemblyman Frank Bigelow, and the folks from Frogtown at 11:30 on the east side of the Capitol near the trout pond. I'm going to take the plug out of Watertight this year and see if we can't get a little extra length out of him. You, your staff, and public are invited to participate in this very fun bipartisan event. Prizes will be awarded for the longest and the shortest jumps. So get your game on, join the fun. It is a great day out on the steps out there, and we'd love to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Hancock.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Budget Sub 5 will meet in 5 minutes in room 113.
Thank you, Senator Hancock. Room 113, Senator Monning. It appears there is no other business.
Thank you,
Desk
Madam.
appears clear.
Thank you, Madam President. The Senate will be in recess until 3:30, which time the adjournment motion will be made. We'll reconvene, colleagues, Monday at 2 p.m. Monday at 2 p.m.
Thank you,
Have a good
Senator
weekend.
Monning. The Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We reconvene Monday at 2 p.m.